Sports betting has been around for a long time, even if data of the first bet seems untraceable. We can think of the Greeks, inventors of the Olympic Games, where it was not uncommon for spectators to bet among themselves on the winners. Over the years, pool staking and betting has been the traditional way of gambling in Nigeria. Recently, the emergence of sports betting has increased due to the various betting websites that have become famous. Due to this latest development, sports fanatics now take their interest in sports to a greater level, having realized the financial benefits that could be gained from predicting match scores. Unfortunately, addiction sets in along the line when one has no self-control, and it then leads them to the dark tunnel of gambling. This is Sam, a 35-year-old man who has been through the ups and downs in the virtual world of sports. He loves to forecast games and put his money where his mouth is. Along the line, his love for forecasting and betting led him into the dark side of addiction.
It all started 2015. Okay, I finished service 2013. So between that time, I was job hunting, and I've been a fan of sports growing up right from childhood. But I have a neighbor that walked up to me that he won 140,000 with 100 naira. So as at that time, I knew little about sport betting, but I don't know how it works. So I had to sit him down. I was like, how did you come about this? What did you play? How did it work out? So he held the coupon in his hand. I made the ticket. So he showed me saying, I picked this team, I picked this team, I picked that team. So I was like, oh, I saw some other things there. So what does this one mean? What does two means? So he was the one that put me through the fundamental parts of the sport betting. Like, okay, if you picked one means the home team to win. If you pick two, that means the away team to win. If you pick GG, that means both teams to score. So I took my time to understand that. He only put me through how it works, how you stake. So I had to do further research myself. So I took my time to walk into the shop. So my first few weeks there, I didn't play. All I do was just to make friends, observe how things work. So I was there, I see people placing bets. So I started asking questions. I even asked the cashiers that, okay, if I pick this. But I remember vividly then, there were limited market options then, unlike now that we have vast majority of market options. Like I said, I don't have what I'm doing, so my income is so limited. All I do is when I started playing, I use my pocket money to place bets. So then to stake, the minimum stake is 100 naira, so I can still feel like, hey, the money I would use to buy recharge cards and call friends, why can't I use it to place bets? So that's how it all started. And then it was fun. Some places I would have just one game that would make it a lost bet. I'll put the game, I'll be like, oh, I'm so close. And that will be like, you can't go further, you can try more. So it goes on and on like that. I could remember vividly my first win was a 5,000 naira with 100 naira.
Oh, wow.
I got motivated, yes. So the 5,000 then was like a gold, like, wow, this is cool business. With 100 naira, the multiple interests that comes or that is accrued to it, I was like, wow, this is good business. So I started going deep. And over time, I started looking into the virtual. When you walk into the shops, you see a lot. So it's like, the place is more like let me just say, like a theater where you just see all different kind of. You see people that walk in, say this thing has destroyed my life. You see people that say, wow, I don't chop. So you have different kind of things that motivate you. I remember then there was a day a guy walked in, and his first game, he placed bet on the virtual, that football virtual, and his first game with 100 naira, he won 35,000. So
wow.
that's really intrigued me. I was like, what exactly did he play? How did he know that all these games would come true? So he said he has been studying it. We became friends, and over time I started playing the virtual too.
From all the games, he got more interested in a virtual game called Color Color.
It's a game of numbers. So you predict the numbers that will be displayed after some rounds of events. So,
Yeah.
and we have different colors, but my interest is always on the numbers because if I predict two numbers to appear in out of six possible outcomes, I would, with 100 naira, I would win 6,005.
Really?
So I always aim higher because I just feel if I use 100 naira to win, if I play the color, I will win 300. So I will be like, this 300, they can take it back anytime. But there's this thing that punters always believe in, that if I can win an huge amount of money, even before they will take it back, I can leave. So I always aim high. So if I win such kind of amount, I won't stay. I would go, then still come back the other day. But in the long run, if you come back another day, it's just like you're just delaying when they will get the money back.
Many can attest to the money-draining virtual games.
You see that virtual, I will not tell you the lie. The truth about it is that virtual is a killing machine. If you want to die, go there. You will die easily. If you have 50,000 in your pocket, in the next 5 hours, if you don't take time, you will borrow money out of that place. That one is not game. That one's like, it's dice, like 2 people playing dice or 4 people playing dice. That one is is a killing machine. I don't go there. Except you just have money you want to waste. You go there, go and waste it. Money you don't budget for. But if you want to make something in life, I prefer to book game and wait for the results after 90 minutes.
When Sam places bets, he spends about 2,000 naira, but it increased when he started working for a bet company.
In a month, let me just approach it. In a month, I can spend like 2,000, 3,000, but over time, when I started working, I spend more than that. So let me just say, when I started in the year 2015, I just spent 2,000, 3,000 to place bets in a month.
Wow.
When I started working, the mentality of playing bets with 100 naira left. I was like, if I would choose, the idea behind it is, I was like, if I could choose 20 games,
Yeah.
and 19 of it I could predict correctly, just one of it got spoiled. So why stress myself with 100 naira? So why not pitch something lesser and stick with a huge amount of money?
Wow.
So I started experimenting that. When I started, it was working fine. I could play a single bet with 5,000, place a single bet with 2,000.
Reality dawns on Sam when he lost 200,000 naira on a single bet, but continues to play.
The highest amount I would say that I've stayed to it is 200,000.
100,000.
200,000 at a go.
At a go.
Yes.
Wow.
And I
Tell
lost.
us about that.
I lost.
You lost it.
Yes. I
Wow.
lost it at the nick of time. Okay. So on that day, I'm a Man U fan though, so I stayed on my team to win.
Wow.
And that day, Man U was winning. I could remember Man U play Newcastle or so. Man U was winning, and at injury time, I think 90 plus, Newcastle equalized, and the match ended 1-1. The money wasn't mine. Several things came to my mind, like I was like, I wish I didn't do this. Why did I do this? How can I get this money back? What will I tell the owner?
It got so bad he borrowed a lot of money and spent 90% of it on bets.
Borrowing money to place bets.
You borrowed money to?
Yes, I did.
What was the highest amount you borrowed?
450. 450,000, yes. 90% of it was to place bets. Now, for me to have been able to secure 450,000, I never knew what I wanted to do with it. Over time, I borrowed quite a lot of money, and the day I sat down to, you always be afraid to put your pen to paper to just write down the figures. But the day I did that, I noticed it's over 1 million, 1 point something million. Yes.
Wow.
And everything was within 2 years.
2 years?
Yes. Everything was within 2 years. And for all the companies that were able to give me loans, it comes with interest. Then if you default, you have further interest. So the 1 million I mentioned is accrued interest on loans I've defaulted.
Wow.
So I speak with you, I'm still paying back.
Wow.
So it shows the extent, the damage it has caused. So the day I sat down and I put down names of each company I'm owing and the amounts with the interest. So, and individuals that I owe. Then I found out that, hey, this thing has turned to 6 figures. So that's when it comes on me that I realize that this is not fun anymore. It's an issue.
In Nigeria, football betting has a long history that can be traced to colonial times when pool betting was popular, especially among the elderly, retired workers, and the unemployed. Since the 1920s, younger people have taken up betting on the results of football matches, including European football leagues. In the betting shops, you will find different kinds of people in clusters discussing either the Premier League, Champions League, the La Liga, boxing, and all types of sports, with their passion for the game increasing every day, having high hopes of winning the jackpots. There are factors responsible for increased football betting among youths in Nigeria.
It keeps my hope alive. When the government are not trying and I don't have any other way, I don't have any other person to help me. It's only the bet that can help me.
As you can see, the country is very rough, you understand? The government, they're not trying, you understand? So at least helping the youth, So some people cannot steal, like me, I can't steal. So I just do this way to make money for myself.
In the past, people watched sports with keen interest based on loyalty to a particular club. But today, that is no longer the case with many.
Like me now, I'm a driver now. For the past 2 months now, I don't have a car again. I don't have any bus that I'm using to work. But I'm surviving with this because I don't play visual game. I only play the game I will book and bet. Maybe Madrid is playing Osasuna. I bet it Madrid to win. Chelsea is playing Watford. I bet Chelsea to win. I collect 5 games like that. I put 500 or 1,000. The game give me something like 13,000 or 8,000. As the game is going, maybe I play 8 games. 6 I've played. They are giving me a crash out 5,000. I'll just collect the 5,000, crash out. I book another one. Out of that one, I send a little money for my family. That was how I've been coping for the past 2 months now. Because there is no hope. I'm not an addict. I'm not addicted to betting. It's just I just sat down and I studied and I said, okay, I can make something out of this. Not that maybe if I have a work that I'm doing now, I will not sit down here and say I want to start betting because I'm a driver. I'm on the road now. Maybe it's when I close. And if I go to work Monday to Saturday, is it that night I will now start? I'm tired now, I'm going to relax. But for now, let me just use this one as another avenue to make money.
There are those ones who have become addicted to this behavior. Sam is one of them, and every addict shows some vital signs.
There's an attribute with someone that is addicted to gambling. And that is, you always find your way around things. And that involves lying to people close to you, people you know. If you tell them strange things, they will believe you.
When you say that someone has gambling addiction, there are certain things you see in someone that has gambling addiction. Is this, you see that they have this strong compulsive use to this craving to always bet money. And you see them that they neglect other activities that they used to find pleasurable, spending most of their time gambling. They hide the fact that they're gambling from their family members. They feel guilty. They've lost vast sums of money. Sometimes they have to take loans, and they believe that if they keep gambling, they will be able to recover some of the money that they've lost. So those are some of the features you've seen that it affects their career, affects their family.
Addiction is more. It's more like an eye. You have that feeling that you are high on something, so you feel uncomfortable until you place bets.
A report revealed that about 60 million Nigerians between the ages of 18 and 40 are involved in active sports betting. They spend almost 2 billion naira on sports betting daily. And this translates to about 730 billion naira annually. Betting may appear to be a way to make quick money, either as a betting operator or as a gambler, but addiction sets in along the way.
Usually, most people, when they start for fun. They start with funds that they can afford to lose. But for some people, it progresses beyond that. And then they start to bet large sums of money. They have, when they can't bet or they are prevented from betting, they start to become very uncomfortable. They spend most of their time engaged in either betting or trying to get money to bet. And they start to suffer harm in terms of their career. They get into debt. They keep having, they find it they're unable to control their betting. When you see those signs, those are signs that the person could possibly have a gambling addiction or sports betting addiction.
Are there consequences for addiction?
Gambling addiction has significant comorbidities with psychiatric conditions. As you might imagine, if you've borrowed a large sum of money and lost it to sports betting, there's a high tendency for you to have clinical depression. It could also progress to having suicidal thoughts and attempted suicide. You could also have post-traumatic stress disorder. You could have sleep problems, sexual dysfunctions. It could predispose to even psychotic breakdowns. So having a gambling addiction predisposes you to having a whole lot of other psychiatric comorbidities.
Sharing my experience now, I am someone that loves sleeping very well. I do have sound sleep. But when this issue became a problem, I couldn't sleep well. Wow. There have been different kinds of thoughts. You'd start thinking that life is not worth it. You know, such kind of things, and you start thinking of, how am I going to pay this person? So shame comes in, reproach. Loan agencies started looking for me, calling my numbers. I had to start changing numbers. I started withdrawing from people because when I had the encounter with my family members, I had to change my numbers. Then loan agencies started calling me. I had to start withdrawing. So at that point of withdrawing, you want to be alone. Like, it's as if these people don't understand you. So you start withdrawing and That's when the suicidal thoughts start coming in and the lights.
Sam's family felt disappointed after they found out about his sports bet addiction.
At a point, my family gets to know about this. I used to be like a favorite child. I used to be like someone they're looking up to just bring the name of the family to to raise the bar for the family, to not to put down the name. But the moment they got to know, I felt like an outcast, because I had different kind of things that really put me down. So after the session with them, going back, I wasn't myself.
Is there a way out of addiction?
Since we consider gambling addiction to be medical and mental disorders, there are treatment modalities that are available, and it first starts with you having an assessment. When you are assessed, you're now able to understand the severity of the disorder, and the treatment ranges from simple interventions like reading a brochure, to short interventions, to long-term interventions that involve psychotherapy with a therapist. So there are treatment modalities depending on the severity. You need to talk to a medical professional, and then they'll be able to help you with this disorder.
Since it is difficult to convince many that caution is needed, it is hoped that Sam's experience and many around us are pointers that this craze for quick wealth is at the end of the day counterproductive, including suicide as a result of depression.
My first advice would be to everyone that you should have a high index of suspicion if you are gambling and then you're finding it difficult to control your sports betting. Then you might need to take a step back and stop gambling for a while. You might have difficulty controlling your sports betting. So before it becomes a full-blown disorder, it's better to know that it's possible that you could get addicted and to reduce it. Now, if you do have a problem with sports betting, it's affecting your schooling, your work, your marriage, your relationship with people around you, then it's advisable that you get some treatment. You could come to any neuropsychiatric center and have an assessment done where a treatment modality is available. And lastly, you should tell people around you if you're having this problem. Too often we are too stoic in our culture. We tend to hide things. If you're having difficulty, let your friends and family know, and then they will be able to put in place a support system that will be able to help.
For people that place bets, this would be my advice. It's supposed to be fun, yes. You can stake on what you like, and you can have passion for it. You know, people have different kind of hobbies. So, but the moment you notice you're losing sleep over it, the moment you notice it's affecting your health, the moment you notice it's affecting your relationship, because as an addict, and the effect of most of these things is you withdraw from your loved ones, you hurt them, you hurt yourself, your head status, emotion, your mental state, at a point you realize you're losing it. So if at the moment you notice it's getting to that point, you need to speak up, seek help. It's very, very important. In my case, I didn't do that on time. And if you're seeking help also, I would advise to seek help from the right channel. At a point, I had to go to religious leaders to seek help. The earlier you stop, the better it is.